Straight to our big story. Developers will have to sell homes to all those capable of buying it. No discrimination can be made against buyers on the grounds of gender, caste, religion, etc. These are part of the second installment of draft rules released by the Centre for the Real Estate Regulatory Authority. Viewers would recall that after the act was passed, the government had released one set of rules. Magic Bricks Now's editor Faye D'Souza joins us live from Chennai with more details on the second set of draft rules the central government has come about. Faye, what's your take on that?
The aspects of information will have to be declared by the promoter while he registers a project. This ranges from details of the project to details of the promoter himself, any sort of litigation, title deeds of the land, specifics on permissions sought and permissions received on that project. That will have to be uploaded onto the website. 60 different aspects has been listed out. Also, ongoing projects that have not received their final certificate will also have to register. They will be given 3 months to provide those 60 details and they will have to be registered. So that sort of bone of contention that the industry had on whether or not ongoing projects would be in the purview, they will be in the purview. That's part of the rule. Very interesting. Interest to be paid by the developer to allottees on delays and vice versa has been set as the SBI rate plus 2%. That's uniform on both sides. That's another big piece of information that's coming out. And of course, the developer will have to update details on the website within 7 days of the expiry of every quarter. This will include how many bookings in the project, what is the status of construction, what is the status of approvals and other sort of details. And of course, when it comes to actual penalization, 10% of the cost of the project or imprisonment of the promoter in case an order of the tribunal has not been followed. This also holds good for real estate agents. If there's an order from the real estate tribunal, the appellate tribunal that's been made that has not been followed, has been violated, then there is imprisonment for real estate agents as well. They will also have to register. A registration fee has been specified for real estate agents as well. So these rules have come out this evening. Anybody watching who wants to, provide their suggestions to the central government, you have the next 2 weeks to do so.
That's right, Faye. We do have the next 2 weeks to send in our suggestions to the centre. Meanwhile, to understand this better, I have with me here in the Mumbai studios none other than Kavita Krishnan, and joining us on the phone line is Mr. Uday Vavikar. Mr. Vavikar, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us over here. Kavita, let's just get first initial reactions from Mr. Vavikar on that. Mr. Vavikar, your take on the second set of draft rules for the real estate regulator.
As far as the real estate regulator draft rules have come, they are in consensus with the real estate regulator and they are really welcome. They have not changed much, and I think I must compliment them. Most of the MOFA provisions also have been taken. And three main features of this real estate would really be good. One, I look at it as a transparency, and transparency means that the entire details of the project would be available within 7 days for the purpose of the buyers, and it will be quite transparent, including the financial condition of the company. Second is there are penalties imposed, even including imprisonment for violation of RERA, which is again a welcome. Question would be whether RERA will have a teeth and whether a person can be sent to the jail by the RERA adjudicating authority is not yet answered. Third thing is they have not yet included the machinery. They have said that there will be a machinery at adjudicating officer and there will be a state level adjudicating authority. Both will be aided by judges. But there is no central level authority, which is indirectly meaning that you may have to go to a high court for appellate court, which we'll have to go through and see how, because then the entire idea will be going back to civil court and high court, and so there are many things. But overall I would welcome the rules and regulations, and they are really in consensus.
Many things still left out, but overall you're still positive on that the rules have come out. But meanwhile, we do have Mr. Naveen Raheja as well joining us on the phone. Mr. Raheja, thank you so much for taking time out to be this year on Magic Bricks. Now, your initial thoughts on the second set of rules that has been put out by the Centre for the Real Estate Regulator?
Yes, the rules have come. They are welcome. Everything is good for industry as such. It is, I would say that very, very, very customer friendly. But at the same time, we definitely have two big reservations. They have not covered authorities which give permissions and where we actually suffer because of delays. They have not covered authorities are providing infrastructure. So everything has been put on developers and maybe even agents, but it has not, the reasons which actually caused delays, they have not been addressed and they have been kept scot-free. So this is our major concern on this. But still, we feel that giving transparency is always right, and at least this will decide who is the developer who can actually be relied upon and who can deliver.
Right, Mr. Raheja, on the issue of transparency, I would like to get your comments on the list of disclosures that have been, that RERA wants developers to furnish. Specifically the fact that they want you to give quarterly updates now on the status of construction of the project, on the amount of bookings that have been, taken for that particular project, and especially as far as the status is concerned, they want you to update that with photographs from the construction site. Now, how easy or difficult is it going to be for industry to really comply with this? They are looking for quarterly disclosures. Clearly, looks like we are going the SEBI way.
It is. Let me be very straight. In fact, the good developers are already following this practice. So the question of disclosures, it is only those developers who actually were not professionals and they used to collect money without making disclosures. So they will be in trouble. Now they will have to be transparent, open, straight, and share the information. So as far as the companies like us are concerned, we already upload everything on the website, on YouTube, on Facebooks, and even write emailers along with the updates, and that happens definitely quarterly, and rather we even share print a newsletter where we give photographs of every project every quarter. That this practice is going on since last over 10 years.
Right,
so
and
for those developers who are already doing it, for them it is a routine job.
So it's going to be difficult for those developers who are not doing it. Uday, I would like to get your views on another aspect of the rules that have come out. Now here they are very clear that if a developer does not comply, developer or company does not comply with the decision of the appellate tribunal, they will have to, they'll be penalized at 10% of the project, the land cost, the plot cost, or the apartment cost. Now that is quite a steep fee. A lot of people were very worried that the appellate tribunals might just become toothless tigers. Do you think that this gives them some teeth?
Kavita, I have a very serious concern about this aspect because though it sounds very nice, 10%, and it is really, sometimes it may sound harsh, but if you look at the clause 58, the entire section of the courts, which will be the adjudicating authority for RERA, the appeal about the capital city courts, that is the appellate court, that means first you will have a district court, then you will have a appellate court which will be at the capital city, and the appeal on that will go to High Court. The Parliament said very clearly that those civil court the builders' cases will go. We are taking an appellate court to the High Court. There is no central authority.
Uday, I get your concerns where this is about the adjudicating authority and the hierarchy over there. I understand where you're coming from. You're essentially saying that we should have had something like Securities Appellate Tribunal, the SAT or the compact set up, which will function as a central authority. Now, setting that aside, the fact that
the 10% liability which is put in, is there any teeth to recover it? You can only cancel the project. It is quite stringent, which is good as far as consumers are concerned. But you can deregister the projects, but they will go to the High Court and get a stay. Then where you are?
Right. So you're saying that you should ideally have a central authority also set up.
who will be independent authority and say.
Right, and Uday, I hope that you will be among those who will be sending in your suggestions. You have 2 weeks open for those suggestions as well. Mr. Raheja, I would like to bring you in again. There is something else that I wanted to discuss with you. Non-discrimination. Now, this is something that buyers have been asking for a long time. I know developers have also been talking about this. The fact that if I belong to, or if I belong to a particular religion, or a caste, or a community, or if I am of a particular sex, I might not be able to buy a home in my project of choice. That is now done away with. The government is clearly saying that you cannot discriminate. How significant is this going to be?
As long as it is a well-intended move not to cause discrimination on caste, creed, or on genuine basis. It is a very, very good step, and I will say it is a welcome step. But on the contrary, let me talk from the developer's perspective. Today, there is a massive group of extortionists and blackmailers in the market who book only with the purpose of later on taking the developer into litigations and then extorting money to withdraw the cases. So those actually we do have. Developers have the list of such people. And now they will become free with this, that they can, without discrimination, they can continue to book. And now there is equivalent penalty. Equivalent penalty means you book, you have an assurance of a return of 10 of a return which is equal to State Bank of India prime lending rate plus 2%. That is the minimum. So that return is already assured on the lower side for them, and on the upper side, they will extort money to withdraw such cases.
Right.
So this discrimination of which the blacklisted people who are largely running into now thousands and thousands of such unscrupulous people in the market who are into extorting money from developers by speculation. So they will become free. They have been set free to extort further. I think this is one step which can do a lot of damage to the industry.
Uday, is this particular provision that is there, the rule that has come out, is that actually going to open up the doors to extortion?
I really don't believe this, because for the simple
reason.
Kind of
things, we have a list of thousands and thousands
right.
of
Naveen, you've had your say. Let Uday come in. Let Uday come in. He has a point to make. Yes, Uday.
One minute. I would not understand if the builder is really clear and clean and on his project. There cannot be any such blackmailing, because you can't stop the project like this. And the high courts are very clear. Various courts are very clear. Minority cannot even stop the majority or the construction work. You can't blackmail like this. I don't know what kind of extortion he is talking about, because it is clear, because what is to happen is, just because you are a spinster, you are a bachelor, or you are of a particular community, certain sect of communities is to only reserve for their community and flats were not available for the other sect. Such discrimination should not be allowed. I welcome it. And there is 1 minute, Naveen, please. I welcome it. And if there is any law and order situation, there are ways and means to tackle it. I mean, we have been tackling unions, and this is nothing. And builders are much more capable, much more moneyed, much more organized to tackle this.
There is a when you cause frivolous litigation on anybody, there is a cost to defend also. Please try to understand. There is a cost to defend when there is multiple litigation.
Right, Uday and Naveen, we have 2 weeks more to sit and go through this entire document and give our suggestions to the government. And I hope that a lot of constructive suggestions will go to the government. Uday, I hope you take that suggestion of the suggestion that you gave us, the central tribunal. I hope you take it. We will, of course, ensure that that particular suggestion reaches the government. But Krishna, very landmark decisions over there. Now, especially that anti-discrimination rule, that was something that was brought up, in fact, by the opposition.
Yes, it was a promise made in the parliament, which they've stuck to it. But Kavita, I just have one question. It's a rule in paper, in spirit. how much of it will translate into actual implementation on the ground, your guess is as good as mine. But thank you, Kavita, for taking the entire new set of rules for the regulator and making sense of them for us with our wonderful guests, Mr. Naveen Raheja and Mr. Uday Vavekar. Thank you so much to both of them as well for taking time out to be this year on Magic Bricks Now.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Magic Bricks Now. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magic Bricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/Magic Bricks Now.